this was a former first lady, Michelle Obama. What are you doing? You want to talk about racism and fear and division when you want to talk about police brutality, saying a black kid can't walk down the hood without being a target by cops? You only want to talk about the bad apples instead of the good ones? For those of you who don't know, Michelle Obama made a video commenting about fear about being black in America, about President Trump. Now, if you don't know, we gonna watch this clip together, and we gonna see like what exactly she says. Okay, let's get into this.
It's painful to think that months into this crisis, this is still where we are, with no clear plan, no peace of mind. And the worst part is, it didn't have to be like this. Look around the world. So many other countries aren't experiencing this level of extended suffering and uncertainty. These countries were hit by the same virus as we were. They had the same kind of resources to contain it as we did. But what they didn't have to contend with was this president. A man who had every resource at his disposal. The finest medical experts, our best intelligence, and yet ignored all the advice and failed to produce a plan to provide enough tests for worried families or protective equipment for our healthcare workers. A man who knew how deadly this virus is, but who lied to us and told us it would just disappear. Who, in the greatest crisis of our lifetimes, doubled down on division and resentment, railed against measures that could have mitigated the damage, and continues to hold massive events without requiring masks or social distancing, knowingly exposing his own supporters to a dangerous virus.
Okay, not true. It's been put out multiple times that people wore masks at these rallies, and you really want to talk about not social distancing? Why don't you talk to all these Black Lives Matter and Antifa guys who aren't social distancing or wearing masks either? But since they're fighting for a cause, they're trying to fight for change. You don't want to talk about that, do you? Do you, Michelle? Really? Okay, let's get going.
Today, more Americans have died from this virus than died in the wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, and Korea combined. Take all those lives bravely sacrificed and double it. That is roughly the scale of this tragedy. And our commander-in-chief, sadly, has been missing in action. We have got to put ourselves in one another's shoes. Look, think about it. You've worked hard all your life, and for too long you've watched the rich get richer. You've lost your farms and your livelihoods to corporate greed. You've seen your beloved towns shattered by joblessness.
So corporate greed. Most. I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys who took from the poor, gave more to the rich, were all under y'all watch in the Democrat Party. Yeah, y'all refuse to do anything. Y'all refuse to push any bill at all to prevent things like that ever happening. I never heard of Obama doing any bill that would help out the black community or help out small businesses. Instead, more small businesses shut down during Obama's term, and there was no pandemic going on. Okay, let's keep going.
You've watched families destroyed by drug addiction and mental health challenges. All of this long before this virus hit. And it is frustrating to hear some folks say that you've been the beneficiary of privilege, that the color of your skin gives you a head start.
White privilege does not exist. There's privilege, but there's no such thing as white privilege. If you want to say rich white kids are privileged because They got money to be privileged. It's not because they're white. There are plenty of rich black kids out here that are privileged. There are plenty of these rappers out here who are privileged. And all they do, and most of them only do is like do drugs, say the N word, in which a white person says the N word. It's apparently civil war. It's apparently civil war too. Jesus Christ.
That is the reality for far too many hard-working, decent Americans. But right now, the president and his allies are trying to tap into that frustration and distract from his breathtaking failures by giving folks someone to blame other than them. They're stoking fears about black and brown Americans, lying about how minorities will destroy the suburbs, whipping up violence and intimidation, and they're pinning it all on what's been an overwhelmingly peaceful movement for racial solidarity.
Peaceful movement, Michelle? Really? Peaceful? Why don't you tell that to all these why don't you tell that to the 16 black kids, all the 16 who got shot doing by ignorant black folks by drive-by shootings? And why doesn't anybody say their name? I'm curious, Michelle. Why are y'all saying your name for a sex offender, but not a 6-year-old little girl who got shot? Come on.
It's true. Research backs it up. Only a tiny fraction of demonstrations have had any violence at all.
What's up with all the rioting and looting in these black communities, Michelle? Jesus Christ.
So what the president is doing is once again patently false. It's morally wrong, and yes, it is racist.
Here we go again with the racist crap, people. Come on.
But that doesn't mean it won't work. Because this is a difficult time, a confusing time. And when people hear these lies and crazy conspiracies repeated over and over and over again, they don't know what to think. With everything going on in their lives, they don't have time to fact-check falsehoods being spread throughout the internet. And even reasonable people might get scared. And the one thing this president is really, really good at is using fear and confusion and spreading lies to win.
What fear did he instruct? He's telling everybody to stay calm. These CNN, MSNBC is the ones telling people you should fear this virus. You should be afraid. You should give up your constitutional rights to the government. Let them tell you what to do, and just be locked up in your house for 7 months straight. A lot of people getting evicted because they don't want to, because they too afraid to go back to work. Why don't you say something like that, Michelle? Huh?
Look, I get it, but I also feel it.
She feel it.
As a black woman,
she went to
Harvard.
She went to Yale. She went to all these prestigious schools, and she feel it.
To live a life of dignity and service and honesty. The knowledge that any of my fellow Americans is more afraid of me than the chaos we are living through right now, well, that hurts.
Well, maybe that's because she doesn't want to talk about the majority of violent crimes in this country are done by black people. We make up 15, 14, 30% of the population. We commit over 50% of crimes. If you look at majority black cities like St. Louis, where I'm from, Chicago, Detroit, Delaware, New York City, you will see like those are the top 5 cities when it comes to violent crimes, or when it comes to black on black violence.
I want everyone who is still undecided to think about all those folks like me and my ancestors. The moms and dads who work their fingers to the bone to raise their kids right. The teenagers who wear hoodies while working hard to get their diplomas. The millions of folks who look like me and fought and died and toiled as slaves and soldiers and laborers to help build this country. Put yourselves in our shoes for just a moment. Imagine how it feels to wake up every day and do your very best to uphold the values that this country claims to hold dear. Truth, honor, decency.
Not one tear coming out of our eye.
To have
Not
those
one tear.
efforts met by scorn, not just by your fellow citizens, but by a sitting president. Imagine how it feels to have suspicion cast on you from the day you were born, simply because of the hue of your skin. Living with the knowledge that no matter how hard we try, how much good we do in the world, there will be far too many who will never see our humanity.
Those are the bad apples, but that's not everybody. Why are you trying to pin some bad apples with the whole deal? You're basically doing the same thing that you claim that these racist people are doing to us. That's not how you fight racism. You don't fight racism with more racism. You don't. I don't know who thinks that's a good idea.
Who will project on us their own fears of retribution for centuries of injustice and thus only see us as a threat to be restrained. And we know what happens next. A racial slur from a passing car, a job promotion that never comes, a routine traffic stop gone wrong, maybe a knee to the neck. Racism, fear, division. These are powerful weapons, and they can destroy this nation if we don't deal with them head on. So I want to ask every single American, no matter what party you normally vote for, to please take a moment to pause. Click off the news. Think about how you felt over these last 4 years, how quickly things have turned. And then think about what the next 4 years could mean for our country's future. Think about what would possibly compel you to accept this level of chaos, violence, and confusion under this president and be willing to watch our country continue to spiral out of control. Because we can no longer pretend that we don't know exactly who and what this president stands for. Search your hearts and your conscience, and then vote for Joe Biden like your lives depend on it.
So she said all that, and then she says vote for Joe Biden, but she didn't give no type of plan of what Joe Biden is going to be doing. Who knows what Joe Biden policies are? Except that Green Deal he says he's not a part of, but he is. What are Joe Biden's policies for the black community? What are Joe Biden's policies for police brutality? What are Joe Biden's policies for like I said, black on black violence? What are his policies? What about black owned businesses? What about school choice? What about those? I have not heard her mention not one thing about those things. The only thing she pretty much says is Trump is bad. Is orange man bad? That's it. Anyway, I'm done here, man. If you like what I'm saying, if you like what I'm saying, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comment section below. And Trump 2020 people. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.